Welcome back. In this video we are going to speak about copper toxicity. This is something usually overlooked but can cause a lot of problems. First, what is copper toxicity? Copper toxicity is the accumulation of copper in organs like liver, brain, etc. How can you test this? For this, well, the best test is the air test, because the blood test doesn't mean nothing. You can have low copper in blood, but you still have a copper intoxication. Why? Because copper toxicity is the accumulation of not bioavailable copper in the organ, so copper you can't use. Now, copper is helpful, is an essential mineral. Now, you need copper to be healthy and stay well, but when your body can't use copper anymore and start to accumulate in organs, that can lead to a lot of problems. Why the body starts to accumulate copper instead to use that? Because use of them you don't have enough ceruloplasmin, that is a protein, but we can speak about this later. First, I want to say that this is a very complex argument, and there are various websites on the web that can explain this very well. Now, I'm trying to explain this in the easiest way possible, because it's quite complicated and it requires a lot of time, but I want to explain this in as fast as possible, now, in a little time. So, what are the symptoms of copper toxicity? Insomnia, fatigue, brain fog, depression. And depression can be a very bad depression, filled to suicide thoughts. Then anxiety, panic attacks, low libido. This is the thing usually people care the most, now, the sexuality. So low libido, hypothyroidism, low cortisol. Low cortisol is correlated with adrenal fatigue and other kind of stuff. Weak immune system, you get sick frequently. Hair loss, memory and focus problem. You can't focus on a thing, on your job, if you are still studying, or you can't remember anything. This is a bad problem. Then there are mood swings. Now, a moment you're super depressed, the other moment you are excited and stuff like that. Gut problem, you can't digest stuff, you are bloated, and so forth and so on. Leaky gut is a very bad problem. And that is when the gut has holes in it, and the food can be digested properly and enter in bloodstream without digesting through these holes. This can be a good idea for another video. Then, what are the causes of this? I forgot to translate this, but by the way, this one is too much copper in the diet. And this is usually a problem of people, of vegans, no? Because vegan can't eat just vegetables and fruit and stuff, and not enough zinc. And zinc is an antagonist of copper, no? And prevent the copper to be absorbed by the body. And zinc usually in meat, in sense because not in meat, that can lead to a copper toxicity. Then there are estrogens. Estrogens retain copper. For example, the pills girls take not to remain pregnant can be a problem, no? The contraceptive pills. Then we have supplements. Because some people, like me in the past, used to take copper supplements. Someone can have copper anemia. Now, when you have too little copper, you became anemic. So they start to take copper, but sometimes that copper can be utilized in the body and became biounavailable. No, not bioavailable. Then there is copper pipes and pans. For example, if you drink tap water in the pipes of your home, of your village, city, are in copper, that can lead to copper toxicity. Or just copper pans, because maybe copper, there is like some molecules of copper that enter in your water or in your food. And the last one causes, the most frequently causes are copper sulfate on crops now, usually in agriculture. And we all know that big business does not give a fuck about health, and they just want to make money. And they use copper sulfate for that. Then, copper toxicity can cause other problems, like it reduces your zinc levels, and zinc is very important, not only for male sexuality, you know. A lot of people know that zinc is good for libido, for testosterone, etc. But zinc is useful for a lot of stuff. And copper toxicity reduces zinc, reduces also magnesium. Also magnesium is very important for a lot of stuff. Magnesium is a very good antidepressant. Yeah. Potassium, and lowering potassium, that make like an imbalance, create an imbalance between sodium and potassium. In science, there is this sodium-potassium pump in the body, and the body usually prefers to have the same level of sodium and potassium. Reducing sodium can create damage, because now you have too little potassium and too much sodium, and this is bad for the body. Then it can deplete your vitamin B6, it can reduce your GABA and dopamine and serotonin neurotransmitters, and that can lead to problems in behavior, in terms of depression and some other stuff. GABA is the neurotransmitter that make you like relax. Now, alcohol, for example, eat the GABA receptors. That's why alcohol make you like give you that anti-anxiety effect and make you like chill and stuff. Dopamine is the neurotransmitters of drive, focus drive, and of the pleasure, no? And a lack of dopamine can lead to like low libido, and can lead to problem on focus on stuff, no? For example, dopamine is very good. For example, for work, people people that need a lot of focus on their work wants to rise their dopamine levels. And Charles Poliquis, for example, suggested to eat red meat in the morning, because red meat contains precursor of dopamine, and the first thing you eat in the morning sets the neurotransmitters profile for the entire day. So eating red meat in the morning helps to maintain your dopamine levels high through all the day. Serotonin instead is like the hormone of that makes you feel good and help you to sleep better and stuff. And if you deplete serotonin, you can have insomnia and other stuff. Instead, copper toxicity rise adrenaline. No? Because of other stuff, you don't have for example, you don't have cortisol, and having low cortisol is bad now. A lot of people want to lower cortisol all the time, but I mean, yes, it's good not to have cortisol elevated all the time, but cortisol is useful. Cortisol helps to fight inflammation and fight stress. And when people want to lower cortisol, they for real want to lower stress level. No, they don't want to just deplete cortisol or lower the cortisol levels when they need it. Now, for example, when you work out, you want your cortisol to be high now, because cortisol is very important for strength and hypertrophy. And cortisol should be produced on need. Then another problem is calcium shell. Since calcium is the antagonist of magnesium, if your magnesium level are depleted, your calcium level will skyrocket. And calcium can accumulate outside the membrane of the cells, and then can block the nutrients, the nutrients going into the cells, and that can diminish your energy production. It can be very bad. So, what can you do to detox? First, I should advise you that detoxifying could lead to a lot of problems. Like, what is the detoxification? Now, detox from copper. Well, you take some stuff or do some other stuff, and your body like start to like put the copper in your bloodstream, getting rid then from organs, but can cause problem because yes, you getting rid of the copper from the organs, and that's what you want. But entering bloodstream, copper has an effect, and it can make all your symptoms worse. This is a transitory effect, but a lot of people feel bad. And another stuff is that even if you take a lot of zinc, and when you take zinc, there is a copper breakdown, and copper is released from organs in the bloodstream. In this case, if you don't have enough bile, that is essential to get rid from the body, completely from the organ, from the body, and for the metabolism of copper. If you can't produce enough bile, that body can be eliminated, and so restart to accumulate in the organs. So you have a lot of bad side effects without any good effects, because from your organs is releasing into the bloodstream, from the bloodstream can be eliminated, and so return to be accumulated in the organ. So what to do to detox? First, zinc. Zinc is an antagonist of copper. First, zinc prevent a copper to be absorbed in the first place, but also zinc release the copper from organs in the bloodstream, ready to be metabolized and eliminated from the body. Then there is meat. This is a problem for vegans, and I know that there is an ethic reason for veganism, but eating meat is very good for a lot of stuff. One is the zinc content, another one is the sulfur content, and also sulfur is very important to the metabolism of copper. Then you have magnesium. Magnesium is depleted because of copper toxicity. Reintegrate magnesium, very good. Now, there is no more magnesium in the soil, and nowadays there is no more magnesium in food like it used to be. So taking a magnesium supplement is mandatory in my opinion these days. But remember, I'm not a medician, this is not medical advice, this is for entertainment purposes only. By the way, for me magnesium is the first supplement someone should take, because there is no magnesium in food. Then we have retinol. Retinol is a form of vitamin A contained in animal products like beef liver. Beef liver is not a good thing if you have copper toxicity, because beef liver contains a lot of copper. But for example, butter contains a lot of retinol. Then you can eat also carrots. Carrots do not contain the best form of vitamin A, but can be still useful. Then there is DHEA. DHEA is over the counter in most countries in the world. It's like an hormone, it's like the mother of hormones, because it is converted in testosterone and estrogen, for example. And both retinol and DHEA are very important for ceruloplasmin. Ceruloplasmin is, as I said before, a protein that binds to copper, make it bioavailable. So if you want to use that copper and get rid of the copper from the body, you need ceruloplasmin. Otherwise, you can't use that copper and you can metabolize that. Also, DHEA is very good for adrenal fatigue, for the subrenals to recover from adrenal fatigue. Then we have taurine. Taurine is an amino acid and is important, very important for the production of bile. And bile is what your body uses to get rid of the body, to get rid of copper from the body. And you notice that you don't have enough bile when your poop is light. Now, when your poop is light, you don't have enough bile, and this is a good sign that you are not detoxifying properly. And so in that case you should reduce your amount of zinc you take, because I mean, even if you take a lot, because in the case you are taking, if you take a lot of zinc, you can like release the copper in the bloodstream, but you can't really get rid of that, and the copper restart to be accumulating in the organs. So first you have to be enough. You have to have enough bile, and then you can rise your zinc level. Otherwise, you are just suffering from all the side effects without really solve the problem. And we have potassium and vitamin C that both together with DHA are good for recover the survivals, even because vitamin C, when it's combined with potassium, has a relaxing effect, an anti-anxiety effect, can reduce cortisol and help you to recover. That's why I also suggest to take potassium and vitamin C post-workout together. You can use like potassium chloride and salt, as we see in another video, and from vitamin C you can use orange juice. No? Vitamin C supplements usually are not that good, and they are not like so effective as taking vitamin C from food like orange juice. Then saunas are very good to detox and get rid of everything through sweat, not from the body. Then there is meditation. Meditation is also useful to recover from adrenal fatigue and helps you to relax. And then also meditation helps you make your sleep more effective. For example, there are studies that demonstrate that 20 minutes of meditation a day can reduce the amount of sleep you need by an hour. So for example, if you can meditate for 20 minutes a day, you can sleep 7 hours instead of 8 hours a day. Now, what not to eat if you have a copper toxicity? One is shellfish. No shellfish. The shellfish contains a lot of copper, and also contains a lot of copper nuts, chocolate, coffee and soy. So you should not eat these foods at first if you have a copper toxicity. You know, when you will solve that, you can reintegrate these foods to have like adequate copper levels in your body. And also dairy products, you know, because dairy products contain a lot of calcium, and as we've seen before, calcium shell is a problem because you have copper toxicity depletes you of magnesium, and so your calcium level will skyrocket, and there will be this calcium shell around the cells membrane, and that can block the nutrients and blah blah blah. So do not eat dairy products at first. Besides butter does not contain a lot of calcium and is very useful for the retinol. So that's everything. I really hope that this video will be useful for someone to improve their condition and be happy and have a good life, get rid of copper toxicity. For these days is everything. See you next time.